Not me,
Morning.
sorry. I've done 5,500 steps though, so that's good.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
I have done a lot less than that. That's for sure.
Yep. I have to be at 5,500 steps to let myself get on the call.
I like that. I like that. I'm at 731.
That's great. That's better than 10.
That's true. That's true. All right. So first off, I just want to say congratulations and thank you to you guys. I kind of jumped right in, and I don't know in hindsight if I would have done this differently or not, but we could have taken a very kind of slow, calculated approach and said like, okay, let's try bold 40. Okay, let's try bold 60 this week. Okay, let's try bold 80 this week. And I don't know why I picked this, but I just said, hell, let's just do bold 100. Bold 100's, a phrase that they've taught in bold for many years. And so first off, I want to congratulate you guys on taking a stand for your business and for your family. I believe there were a couple people that hit it, but I believe that pretty much everybody pushed themselves beyond what is kind of a typical day for them. And I just want to make sure that doesn't go unrecognized. So congratulations for that. And as I said yesterday, right, once we have stretched our understanding of what's possible, right? If you thought it wasn't possible to hit 20 and you hit 25, well, gosh, now your brain works differently, right? Or if you've never done more than 50 and now you did 55, now your brain works differently, and your brain cannot convince you it's not possible anymore. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yes.
I mean, just to give you my numbers, I was, to count one more time, I was either at 90 or 91, and I will admit I probably would have done more had I not passed out on my bed at like 8:15 and passed out putting my daughter to bed at like 7:30. So
Well, you did talk to all of us yesterday about real estate, so that kind of counts, right?
I'm not going to let that go. I'm going to be a little tougher on myself. I set 7 appointments yesterday and all of that work, and I got a lot of rejection, right? I got 60 something people that said, I don't want to hear from you again. And that's cool, because I'm never going to talk to them again, and they don't know who I am and I don't know who they are, and it's no big deal, right? And what I was offering was something that I truly believe would help them. And if they weren't interested, that's on them. I got no hard feelings, right? It's not I'm not going to stop offering what I have because somebody was in a grumpy mood or was in a hurry or answered the phone when they shouldn't have answered the phone, or just has no interest in it. Okay. So I want you guys to adopt that philosophy as well. So let's just go, and I want to create a safe space here for people to share what their experiences were like, what they really enjoyed, what they really struggled with. Again, we want to make you guys, as confident and as possible. And if it takes raising your hand saying, hey, I really struggled with this script, or I really struggled with speaking to this type of person, let's talk it through. So tell me a little bit about what you guys experienced.
I had a challenge. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say I picked a really easy script. I just called around the house where I put in a backup offer for my client to see if anyone was aware of anyone that's thinking about selling. So it was a really short, easy script, and I was really comfortable with it.
Okay, first of all, that's a great idea. Can we run the script real fast? I just want to give everyone an example of something that can be done.
I have to go and get it because I didn't memorize it. I was reading it.
Okay, go and get it, and we'll let somebody else speak first, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, who else wants to go? Jenny?
I love what she said. That is great. Because I've had 2 homes that my clients have liked that have had multiple offers, and that's 2 opportunities to call that whole neighborhood.
That's right. And guys, no one else is doing that. No one.
Mm-hmm.
No one is doing that. And really the subtle underlying message here is that they're getting called by a serious professional realtor who knows what to say, who's not afraid to get or pay for the data to get it, and who is taking time away from their family to find another family an opportunity. Now, if that's not a clear message of somebody that I'd like to do business with, I don't know what is.
I mean, because if you live in that neighborhood and you just aren't super interested in selling, you don't know a realtor, you would like to know the numbers, but you don't, and somebody calls you with that, that's just such a great opportunity.
Yeah. All right, Donna, give me the script.
Okay, ring ring.
Hey there.
Hi, hi, Bill. This is Donna Patrick with Keller Williams Realty Consultants in Roswell.
Yeah, hey
And
Donna.
I'm doing well, thank you. Hey, I'm calling because I am working with a buyer who is looking to move to your neighborhood. And I said who's looking to move to the Marietta or Smyrna area. And
Okay.
as you probably know, virtually everything on the market in Marietta and Smyrna is already sold. So I promised my buyer that I would call around to the neighborhoods to see if they're aware of anyone who is thinking about moving or who has mentioned moving, or maybe you've noticed a FSBO in the area that I've missed. So Bill, do you have any friends or neighbors that you can think of have thought about moving?
I can't think of any right now. What's a FSBO?
That's a for sale by owner, Bill. Those are individuals who put their own homes on the market.
Okay, don't use the acronyms when you're on the phone. Just say it out. Say the whole thing.
Okay.
No, I don't have anyone, Donna. Gosh, I've never got a call from a real estate agent. You must be a good one.
Well, Bill, I'm really trying to do my best to help my buyer to find a home in the area where she wants to live. She currently lives in an apartment in Smyrna. She works in Alpharetta, but she really wants to make a home in the Smyrna area, and she's looking for that first home. And I'm really trying to do my best to find that home for her. So I told her I'd reach out to the neighbors to see if they're aware of anything.
That's awesome. I've bought and sold a bunch of homes, and I've worked with a bunch of real estate agents, and I don't think any of them have ever done what you're doing. So, do you have like a mobile app or anything you could share with me?
Well, actually, I do, Bill. I have a mobile app that I'd love to share with you. It's a search app that you can use to look at any homes either on your street or anywhere in North America. And I would be happy to share that with you. There's also an option in the app to look into refinancing with Keller Mortgage. They have a lot of great deals right now. They have a program called Zero Plus, where you can actually apply for refinancing, apply for a loan to refinance or purchase a home, and there are no lender fees, and you can even qualify for a $1,000 credit to go towards third-party costs at closing.
Wow.
So I'd be happy to share that with you. Can I text that to you right now, Bill?
You're probably going to put me in your database, and you probably want my email, so let me go ahead and give you my email.
You're probably right, Bill.
You already got their number, right? So don't
I do.
Get a different type of communication method. If
You're absolutely right.
Okay, great job.
So that's pretty much how it went. I mean, I'm a little nervous doing it with you. I was a lot more comfortable with strangers, to be honest.
Oh man, that would have been the easiest call you had.
No. I had a lot of great conversations. The people that I did talk to were actually pretty nice. I didn't have any hang-ups or any rude people, so it was a good experience.
Right. You know why you probably didn't have any rude people? It's because you were calling to help somebody. You weren't calling to like sell something that somebody didn't want.
Although I did get the question. I did get the question about where'd you get my number. So Shauna's script, Shauna's response came in handy.
Awesome.
What did she say?
Well, she said,
Jenny, you want to, or Donna, can you repeat what that script is for me, please?
Shauna said basically that our broker has a tool called Cole Realty that the agents are able to use to reach out to neighbors whenever we're having an open house, to invite them to open houses, to let them know about listings in the area. And they just provide that tool so that we can do the very best possible job for our clients. And
Man,
that's
I love that.
basically what I explained to him. That I was, you know, that we had looked at everything that came on the market, and pretty much everything that was coming on the market in Smyrna and Marietta was flying right off the market as soon as we were able to go out and see it. And, you know, someone else had already put an offer in. So I was really using this tool to reach out to the neighbors to see if I could catch something before it actually, you know, gets on the market, so we could sort of get ahead of things.
That is a
Where did you get the script?
phenomenal job.
Where's that script?
The circle prospecting script that I used is in the Google Drive. It's part of the circle prospecting scripts that Bill posted.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
posted in the Google Drive. There's a bunch of random stuff in there, but I kind of I put some of my favorites together for FSBOs, expireds, and circle prospecting, and called it FSBO favorites and expireds favorites and circle prospecting favorites. Doesn't mean certainly you could find something else you prefer to say, but those are the ones that I thought were the best, in my personal opinion. But guys, all these scripts are written by professionals, and they're all proven, and they're all, you know, they've worked over time. They work in the vast majority of the different types of markets we may find ourselves in. And if they don't feel like they sound like you, or they sound normal or right, it's because they're written with psychological principles in mind, right? Like in the bold listing presentation, when you show up at the door and you say, hey, it's 1 o'clock. We had a 1 o'clock appointment. Here I am, right on time, right? Subconsciously, that tells the seller that you're on time, right? And if the other agent that they might be interviewing did not bring that to their attention, they may go to the negative and say, I wonder if they were on time. I actually didn't look, right? Or if that other agent was 5 minutes late, that highlights that 5 minutes late was unacceptable. Make sense? Okay, somebody else give me some experiences they had.
I contacted I was contacting people that are people that I've known before.
Okay.
That I may have lost contact with a little bit. So it was kind of a care call in a way. So some of mine were taking longer, but one of them, I used to run that acting school. And so some of them were people that were parents of kids that I never actually had that much interaction with, but I had some interaction. So I built on some of that. And I found out that one of the moms runs a foundation that helps people that experience domestic and sexual abuse.
Yeah, I saw that post on Facebook. I liked that.
And so she wants me to present to a buyer's presentation, how to home buy, with some other professionals to her group that we can record. So that one call is putting me in potentially in front of a lot of other buyers.
I love that. And at the very least, you have now impressed that person. That person should be in your database.
Yep.
That person knows how seriously you take your work and how organized you are, right? And now you'll get an opportunity to share that new value that you have, or that this value, whatever you choose to speak about, with a whole new audience who also has audiences, right? If there's, let's say there's 15 people in that group, now you get the couple hundred people in all of those 15 people's network, right? So maybe give them something to share with their friends or family.
So I didn't tell her that I was going to do the $100 promise.
Okay.
And I wasn't friends with her on Facebook yet when I made that promise. But I friended.
Meaning you can offer it now and it'll be a awesome gesture, right?
So I did it on Facebook because she had given me the link, and I made that offer, and then I friended her right after it. And she friended me, and she accepted the friendship right away. So when she accepted the friendship, she already saw that I had promised the $100.
I like that. Good work. Good work. Guys, it's just the activities. Remember we talked about how there's blind luck, which is kind of you sit around and you wait for something to happen, or activity-based luck, where you go do a bunch of stuff and create a bunch of chaos and cause the dust to kind of go crazy. And then opportunities come your way because you've created a lot of energy around your business. Does that make sense? Awesome job, Heather. Awesome job. Okay, Jenny, did you want to share some of your experiences?
I have a quick question. One challenge I had was getting off the phone with people. I know that shocks y'all and surprises you, but I talked with Pam about this morning. So in the middle of all my calls, I was trying to make all these calls, and someone called me with a sales call, and I didn't know how to end the call, and so he said, "Hey Jenny, how's it going?" And I had sold him a house, so I thought he was calling me about real estate. Went on and on and on. I said, "Hey, so did you call me with a question about real estate?" And he said, "No, I called with a business proposition." And he went on and on and on, and I didn't know how to handle that.
Okay, this is a really good topic I want to spend a minute on. Okay, let's talk about that question from a philosophical standpoint for a second. Okay, so at the beginning of the day, Jenny made a goal to talk to 100 people about real estate, and she was clobbering it. Okay, and she set her calendar so that she wouldn't have any interruptions, and that would be her focus. And she spent a good amount of time preparing, and she rehearsed what she was going to say. Like she was very intentional, very purposeful about what her behavior was going to be yesterday. Fair to say?
Oh my gosh, you hit it on the head. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So now everything that you gotta kind of have this like laser focus on what your personal priorities are, whether they be personal, family related, business related, whatever. Because at a time when you didn't have any stress, those were the things that you determined were most important to either move your family forward, or move your financial situation forward, or move your business forward, right? Now, the second you open your eyes, you're going to get the onslaught from the world, right?
Yes.
Which is a sales call, or somebody needs to have a door opened for them, or there's an issue in one of the transactions you're working, or whatever.
Yes, yes.
Right. And so this happens every day to us, and oftentimes we don't even realize it's happening. And the reason why we don't realize it's happening is because the distractions have basically become the new normal, right? So you're always in this reactive mode, and it feels normal, right? But the reactive mode is not what's going to drive your business forward. What's going to drive your business forward is controlling who gets access to you throughout the day, right? So for example, we've talked about having your 135 nearby, right? So I've got my 135 right here. I see it every morning when I come into the office, and I say, oh my gosh, I only have a couple priorities that I need to knock out today. So when I knock these out, I'm free, I'm accessible to the world. Until I knock these out, everything else is a distraction, okay? Because think about it this way, when people are doing something to distract you, all they're doing is executing on their one thing.
That's what I thought too. I thought he's doing what he's been taught.
That's right.
And he's being effective.
And
yeah.
What you've done, and understand, this is, no one's going to be perfect here, okay? What you allowed to happen was you basically made a decision that the execution of that guy's one thing was more important than the execution of your one thing.
You're right. And that is and you were so right, Bill, about opening the door or a challenge with another transaction. And I think sometimes we get caught up in busy syndrome, and we think, I'm busy, so I'm important.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I need to remind myself, no, all that needs to be put on the back burner. One thing, focus on the one thing, bold 100.
Well, just to read this one sentence to you guys again, from the MRE book. I literally have read this sentence like 200 times in the last week. Okay. The difference between the millionaire real estate agent and an average real estate agent is that the millionaire never drops the ball on lead generation. It doesn't matter whether his computer crashed or his assistant quit. He systematically pursues leads, and when finished, then turns his attention to the problems of the day. Okay.
Which is Kathy Ray going to Ace Hardware when her computer crashed.
That's right.
But the cable went out.
Cable went out.
Which I was,
right.
at that point, I thought, I'm giving up. I don't care. I'm tired of this. And the cable
so think about it. So think about it this way, guys. You're going to have the onslaught every single day. And if you don't have the onslaught, that's cause for concern too, because what the world's telling you is you haven't gone and created enough chaos for the chaos to come back at you. Right?
Oh my gosh. Yes, Bill, you are so smart. Yeah.
And so what we have to do is say, I'm focused on my stuff, because there's no one more important in the world than me and my family and getting what we have determined are priorities for ourselves. And when that's complete, that's when I'll deal with the world, right? It doesn't mean you can't be a giver and a friend and a confidant and all these things. It just means you have to do what you got to do first, because that's what makes everything fall into place.
So what would you do if, let me ask you this, if a family member and they just want to talk, or if somebody like that he could have been asking me about real estate, so I needed to have the conversation, how do you end those calls, or what do you say to be able to put all the priority, like to switch back to the priority?
I think you can probably quickly figure out whether it's going to be a real estate related conversation or not. And if
I did, and when I figured it out, I got scared because I couldn't get off the phone. That's what I was like, oh God.
Well, I mean, that's what you're on the phone for, right? So you don't want to just be so concerned that you're trying to check off numbers that you actually don't focus on the call that you've been waiting for, right? But you also don't want to talk about the problems of the day with them. You just say, hey, I'm just finishing up a project. I'll probably be done in about an hour. Would it be okay if I call you then? I'll have a little bit more time to focus and chat then.
That's great. That is great.
I mean, people say that to you all the time.
Yes,
it's not disrespectful. It's just saying, hey, I'm just in the middle of a project right now. I'm not really able to focus, but in an hour I will be. Can I call you then?
I love that. Yep. Pam had a good suggestion too about, hey, I'm walking into an appointment.
Yeah.
Can I call you? So project or appointment? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you don't owe them any explanation. I've got an appointment. It happens to be with my wife or my children or my bed. It's none of your business. Okay. Now I can identify when something is a fire, and I'll be the first to deal with it. Believe me. But if it's not a fire, and there's not a lot of fires in real estate, by the way, it's going to go on the list, and I'll tend to the list in the order of priority to tend to the list. Does that make sense? By the way, you guys are at the top of my list. Okay. Talk to me about, give me one or two other thoughts about yesterday. Great job, Jenny.
Well, I kind of realized, I needed to practice more on my scripts, because I guess I've just been so used to just winging it and going off of things that I've written down, myself. And it works better when you're talking to people that you know, but when you're calling a random person, it was pretty scary, pretty hectic for me. I don't think it's my strong suit. Calling random people, but
walking probably wasn't your strong suit the first day you tried either, right?
That's right. That's right.
Have you guys seen that meme? No one ever tried walking and then said, fell a bunch of times and said, this walking thing ain't for me.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, can you imagine? Wouldn't that just be insane? You tried something for the first time, man. Give yourself some grace. You had an observation that says, I need to study my scripts more. So study your scripts more. No big deal. Tomorrow you'll be better.
I did end up getting one of my friends that lives in Mississippi. I haven't talked to in a while. He's actually moving to Georgia in 6 months. So he said he would definitely use me as his realtor.
Awesome.
And the listing appointment went well, but she's going to do some work to her house first before she sells it, which she honestly needs to do. So I gave her a list of my vendors, and I went and bought a new desk and a new chair. So I won't be sitting here next time you see me.
All right. Now you've invested in your business. Good stuff. You're more and more like a professional, although I do like your background. By the way, the thing with your friend, you have a friend that's moving to the area, is that right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. His job is allowing him to transfer here.
Ah, man, that's awesome. See, you just never know. You never know. There's a really good book that I read, and the author spoke at, I can't remember if it was Mega Camper Family Reunion a number of years ago. It's called Give and Take, or Give or Take. Let me see. Do I have it here? Give and Take. This is it right here. Give and Take. It's written by a guy named Adam Grant. He's a tenured professor at the Wharton School of Business, which is like the #1 school of business in the country. And he's the youngest tenured professor ever there. The guy is just a freaking genius. This is a really, really good book. Okay. It talks about helping others drives our success, right? And it kind of points out the difference between what they call givers, right, or takers. There's people in your world that they just call you when they need you, right? And there's givers who call you because they care and they have a genuine interest in your world. And there's also strategic givers, right? They'll give when it is beneficial to them, right? So this just gives you, this book is a really interesting book that kind of helps you understand the psychology behind some of the things that I'm encouraging you to do, right? To give, to make deposits, and to be weary of kind of being that guy that like, oh my gosh, it's Andrew again. He's going to ask me about real estate, right? Because they'll quit answering the phone. They just flat out will. Okay. Okay. Who else wants to share something real fast?
I do.
All right.
So the last contact I made was at 8:47, and it was actually my sister, who a house had popped up in Lake Arrowhead there, and they mentioned that they would want to move there. So I called her and we talked about it, and they definitely want to move. So it was, I thought I've got to do one more. I got to do one more, and that was it. But I don't like doing that. I did a lot of texts, which almost every one of my texts got a returned comment, and talked to a lot of people at stores. So it's something I've done before, and I said I would never do it again. And honestly, I've had vertigo for the last couple of days, and I really thought yesterday, I just want to lie in bed all day and not do anything. But because I had said I was going to do it, I did it, and I don't want to do that again. So 50 is okay.
Yeah. Look, guys, we have to be, sometimes you're going to hit your goals, and sometimes you're going to not hit your goals. The most important thing is that you have an awareness about what happens when you hit your goals, and you have an awareness around what happens when you don't hit your goals. And
I'm sorry.
There's going to be days where you have to give yourself grace, and there's going to be days where you hit your goals and it just like totally changes your mindset and your confidence. And you're not going to get banished from the group or anything. We're just trying to help you get some opportunities.
Well, one thing, at 6:55 this morning, the first, I didn't set an appointment. I mean, she said, yes, I want you to come meet. I want you to come see my house, and let's talk about this and get it listed. At 6:55 this morning, she texted me and said, what time can you be here tonight after 5:30? And I said, 6 o'clock.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Guys, you just got to ask for the business. Remember, 70% of sellers are only going to interview one agent. They're going to agree to work with the very first agent that gets in front of them.
I think the Bold 100 helped me because it helped me focus. Like, my problem is focus. And I had that goal. I had to do it. And it kept bringing me back.
And that idea, like what we were talking about earlier with you, Jenny, is like, when you're really intentional about the priority of the day, then the next thing that translates to is how controlling you are and how particular you are around your time. And
100%.
when you view when you're real stingy about your time, then you don't let interference like the other sales guy get in your way. When you don't have an awareness about how special and valuable your time is, then it's kind of a free-for-all, right?
Well, I could tell I was growing because it bothered me. Before, I would just be like, oh, well, what the heck? But I didn't want him to get in my way. So I know that's like improvement.
Well, I'm proud of each and every one of you. And I'm dead serious about that. Yesterday was a big commitment. I'm proud for those that spent extra time preparing. I'm proud of those that that woke up with, you know, headaches or dizziness or whatever it is, and they said, I'm doing it anyway. And I'm just glad to be in business with you guys. And then, you know, I'm certainly open to doing this again. You know, you guys just help me understand what programs and what initiatives like this we can do to, number one, create some accountability. Number two, create a community of people that are all after the same thing, and you know, excited to support one another. And gosh, I mean, there's a lot of people that booked appointments, right? There's a lot of people that renewed friendships or relationships that had kind of fizzled out a little bit, right? So good job, everyone. Really good job. Anyone else want to share anything?
I went into this deciding yesterday morning that I was doing it. But so I had created different parameters in my mind of what my goal was. I knew it was bold 100 for like the general purpose, but I've been doing for a long time, even when I was calling people and kind of making connections, I wasn't really in my heart ready to receive a client yet. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't feel ready. And so lately I've been getting to the point where I am more ready. And then I had that little bit of analysis paralysis. And so yesterday put me over that area where I am comfortable calling people and getting this going and doing it. And so I didn't, I had things come up that were definitely mandatory and some things that I planned because I hadn't cleared my calendar.
Yeah.
So, because I had a medical thing come up with my kid. She has to breathe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. It should be breathing God family business, right?
Right. Yeah, she has allergies and asthma, and I just needed to handle her for a couple hours. And so, and then we had the drive-by birthday party. But so for the time that I did have to put towards this, I learned a lot about what my process is and going forward. And so it got me to the point where I think at some point I really do want to actually try doing this the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Where it is that focused, because yesterday I set up a spreadsheet so that I could work off of it as I went. And I put in the contact name, interaction type, whether they responded, the duration of my interaction, did I discuss Keller Williams or not, because some of them were care calls.
Yeah.
Did I set an appointment? What promise did I make? Did I do the promise, which I called my mischief managed?
Yeah.
And then I have a notes column and then a column of stuff I want to add to my database. And this helped me set up, and I had a count going up, and it goes towards the top. And so now every day when I'm doing things, I'm going to keep adding to this spreadsheet that I made, and it's my daily thing. And I'm going to put a line where each day starts so I can see kind of where I did things and have something going on it. And I think that was helpful.
100%. I mean, that's very thorough. I'm pretty thorough. I'm not as thorough as you are. So that's phenomenal. And
I put on there like
something, Heather, you have earned the right for a client.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and now I feel ready because
you have participated, you have watched the videos, you have made the spreadsheets, you have practiced the scripts. You're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a full room of people that are here to support you.
I had to get to a point where I felt like I knew what was available to do things, to be able to handle having a client, that I would know how to respond to it. So even today, the person that, you know, that first conversation yesterday, that was such a surprise that I got an appointment just like that. It's like, okay, how did that become so simple? Because I think it was less than 5 minutes.
Is to show you that all you got to do is create some activity, and you're going to get rewarded with what you earned, which is the right to help somebody.
Yeah, and so we had our appointment this morning, and he's somebody that I've known for a really long time. And to get him kind of focused, we were on a Zoom call, and I don't think I would handle other clients like this, but we actually went into FMLS together and pulled up the map, and I created the boundary so he could visually see the area, and we set up the search parameter that way. So, and
I don't have an issue with that at all. I actually think that's a great idea. It shows that you're a teammate. That's exactly what you are.
And so then I put in like this many bedrooms, that many bathrooms. So instead of filling in a client intake sheet, we walked through it, and he saw my FMLS screen and the stuff that I was putting in, and he watched me add him to the email list. And so I could say, do you want to be added these days? Do you want to do this? And so he saw me going through and checking this stuff off, and he felt involved.
Right.
Oh, so you did a screen share.
Yeah, I did a screen share of the FMLS.
That's smart.
Yeah, so just a reminder, I won't call you out individually, but every one of you better have a Zoom account, and you better know how to use that thing. Okay.
I'm going to work on that.
He loved being able to, like, when I set up the map search and set the pinpoint, I'm like, okay, so where's the center of your search? Where do you want that located? And then how big do you want your radius? And so he moved it a few times through the interaction, because then he could see, well, we had 15 pop up with your parameters. Now we had 20, now we had this many, and then it went up to 60. And so he was like, okay, good, that gives me options. I like looking at this. And so he had me move the center of the search like 3 times, and we made the circle bigger and smaller. And so he got to dial that in, and he saw how it changed the search.
And I got to tell you, the most important thing was what was not stated, which there wasn't. I'm going on a limb here, but like there wasn't a hard sell for him to commit to work with you.
No.
He got an experience of what it was like to work with you.
Yes.
And now he is excited and an equal participant, and he feels a obligation to you, most likely. So yes. I think what you did was perfect. Perfect. Good job, everyone. Really good job. Don't forget, I'm happy to make good on the promise I made you. If there's any type of legible, something you typed up or something you wrote out that would, that's client data that you want my assistant to put into the database for you, just shoot that to me with some instructions, and we'll get that taken care of for you. My assistant's name is Luth. She'll reach out to you directly. And don't forget, today we have our all group session from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock in this room.
Do we have a topic?
I have a couple of things, but I'm certainly open to any suggestions. If anyone wants to write on the board today and have some interactions around that, I can be flexible, but I have a few things I'd like to talk about, most of which is around lead generation. And don't forget, also tomorrow from 12 to 1, we also have Roseanne Blatcher coming in for the Success Lunchtime series and the Basic Skills Camp from 1 to 2 tomorrow. And if you have some topics for that, I'm open to that as well. Okay. All right, guys, congratulations. Post your numbers if you're interested, and get the group excited. I'm really proud of all you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye.